So it's been a minute since we've checked in on the Ethan Klein copyright infringement lawsuits.
What do we do?
And I gotta tell you, the subjects of these lawsuits, Denims, Frogan, and kacytron, they're in shambles. They are not doing well. It's been a very tough week. We're going to be looking at their most recent responses to what's going on with this lawsuit, and their reactions are equally hilarious. They're very unique from person to person.
I want these,
but they're all hilarious. We're going to see some reaction.
I don't mind Denims and what she's doing because, I mean, she's obviously doing it to be a nutball, and she has the right to be a nutball. But kacytron and Frogan do not deserve your sympathy. Denims doesn't deserve your sympathy either. She's a queen of self-owning, as Ethan puts it. But she definitely is slightly, I can't believe I'm saying this, better than them. Out of anyone, I think Denims is better than them.
From Denims, where she's essentially starting to throw everyone around her under the bus to save herself. We're also going to see Frogan, who's quite literally on the run at this moment, seemingly trying to duck process being served and risking jail time in the process. But let's begin with a light-hearted side of this story, an update on kacytron. Kacytron's had a very unique approach to everything going on here. Someone who's facing a copyright infringement lawsuit has tried everything, you know, calling everyone involved an incel. She'd probably call the judge an incel if she could. And then ironically, she's done a lot of streams where she's playing copyrighted music and television and flailing around while facing a copyright infringement lawsuit. Like, there's zero self-awareness whatsoever. On top of that, today, just checking out what she's doing today, she started her stream by playing copyrighted television. I believe this is Wife Swap, one of the infamous God Warrior episodes, if you've ever seen that. But she's, again, just completely defying everything she should be doing when it involves copyright right now. But it appears it's also a day one of weed sobriety for her. She might need the extra cash for the lawsuit, but you know what? Hey, whatever it is, her getting sober in this process, I guess that's a W for everyone. But as you can see, her GoFundMe is not doing too great. She's doing better than everyone else, but it's a long, long ways away. And she was kind of the dark horse in all of this, if you guys remember. About a month ago, she shot ahead of everyone else and their GoFundMes. She went all the way from like 20 to over 40,000 in the course of like 2 days. And I was like, wow, she might actually get this done. There's a chance. And then the wheels fell off. She's gotten only like maybe $2,000 in the past almost month. It's not looking too great for her legal defense fund. Now, what we're talking about today is her reaction to some of the realities of what's going on here. The wall's kind of creeping in on her, and she's resorting to witchcraft. Yes, of course she's resorting to witchcraft on TikTok to try to ward off Ethan Klein and his lawsuit. I am not joking. I had really had to check because you see the name kacytron69. The content is like parody worthy, and I had to check in her link tree here. This is her real TikTok account. Let's get a quick little taste of what her TikTok account is like before we watch the witchcraft she's going to perform on Ethan Klein in this lawsuit.
I'm like a content.
Guys, you can't write that. What is this? Did you read it? That's what it said.
Creator on Twitch, and I'm being sued by an
Casey owned a bar, but she...
So I was coming to Olive Garden to try to just get my mind off.
She's just in an Olive Garden recording something?
Yes.
Okay, I got that for you.
This is crazy. I'm being sued by Ethan Klein, and now I'm here at the Olive Garden eating by myself.
What are you doing? This is so sad. I'm eating by myself in an Olive Garden, dude. You can't make this up. Why would she do this to herself? It's what she deserves. Don't get me wrong. She deserves all the shit that's coming towards her. But God, why would you even record this?
I don't know why I did this. I'll write it off.
Yeah, why did you do this? Right?
Okay, personally, I have a pet peeve about people who go into public spaces like that and are live streaming, especially in a restaurant like that. Yes, I know she's not pointing the camera on the waitress or anything, but I still think it's like, why are you adding this extra layer on top of their job? Like, I don't think they came into work expecting to show up at least on their voice and their service onto someone's live stream. But she did say something that I have to give her props. Very smart, very inquisitive. She's writing that off. She's using that dinner tab as a tax write-off because she is technically working while she's there. That's some big brain stuff. I'll give that to her. But let's get to the real TikTok at hand here.
Okay,
you can see the caption. I'm going to play it muted. I think there's copyright audio, but you can read the captions and you can just understand what's going on here. You can see the description on this. I did a protection spell for my lawsuit versus Ethan Klein of the H3 podcast. Please send your good energy. Yes, she is trying to ward off a lawsuit. This is not an issue of good vibes, good energy. This is the real world with real people. And look at this.
Men.
She's putting salt around herself. Like, this reminded me instantly of that episode of SpongeBob with the sea bear where they're putting the circle around themselves, SpongeBob and Patrick, but it has to be a circle. Squidward did an oval, and he got attacked for that. But this is ridiculous. Like, are we in clown world? What is going on here? Like, kacytron will literally resort to witchcraft before taking accountability. Let that sink in, okay? And I hope there is a protection spell for what might happen when you're practicing witchcraft. Looking at all this, her recent tweet about Jesus being a communist, according to her.
Jesus was a communist? Yes. Of course.
It's all starting to add up, okay? But anyways, here's some more of her, whatever she's doing. She's calling out members of the H3 podcast and slandering people, which is just great. Like, here, she calls, Dan Saltman, Diddy Dan, basically saying, accusing him in a very kind of winded way of being a predator. And it's a very weird thing to say. Number one, there's no evidence to support any of that. It's just a wild claim about Dan Saltman. But, you know, kacytron, there is one person you know who actually has any sort of involvement with Diddy, and that's Hassan Piker.
Literally went to a Diddy party.
Talking about how he wants to bang the trickle down from Diddy's entourage. That was back in 2012. But also, he is someone who openly admitted that he went to a Diddy party and then got caught lying about it years ago when he tried to deny that ever happened. But unfortunately, we have the clip of him proudly sharing that he was at a Diddy party.
Are you denying going to a Diddy party? Of course I'm denying. This didn't happen. What are you talking about?
It didn't happen. You didn't go to a Diddy party? Wait.
Walked into this like back like sphere Epcot looking thing in the back of like the house that P. Diddy was renting for his and was throwing after parties at Coachella, and they were playing like these crazy
Hassan
like,
be lying
crazy
again
for people who are high.
He doesn't know how to keep his lies straight.
I had only eaten portobello mushrooms, and one
Don't
of the
do his
images
Diddy
that
party.
they were playing was like this little girl, this like supposedly attractive, very young girl, like opening up a Christmas gift.
What?
But yeah, I think you get it with kacytron. Absolutely ridiculous. Literally resorting to witchcraft before taking any accountability. Like, is this going to be your legal defense? You're going to try to cast good vibes on the court or something? Like, I don't know. This whole thing is ridiculous. But let's move on to the next subject of the copyright infringement lawsuits, and that is, of course, Denims TV. Now, I have to say, I think Denims is doing the best right now. Out of all three, she's doing the best. It's not great. In fact, it's not good at all. But it's something. She's doing the route that I can almost low-key respect in a sort of way. I just, I'm glad she's not trying to pretend here. She's just going mask off and basically saying, I'm going to throw anyone I can under the bus to save myself. Okay, she's in it for her. And that's, you know what?
Hey.
I guess in a weird way you have to have a little respect for it, but none of this is really working out again. Her GoFundMe is sitting around the same mark it was about a week ago, the last time we checked in, at $39,000 out of $100,000. Again, the wheels have completely fallen off. But there's a lot of interesting developments involving Denims in particular. And she has legal counsel. In fact, it appears at least one of the attorneys she's working with is also working with kacytron. But ironically enough, it appears that Frogan has no representation, which we'll talk about here in just a second. But this is what a lot of people are talking about. This was discussed on the H3H3 Productions subreddit, where during the request for discovery, there was a subpoena that was going to go out to various Reddit and Discord mods related to this lawsuit. And what's really interesting here is in this discovery request, not only did Denham's representation not exercise their right to say no to this.
Right.
They agreed and said this is warranted, and they wanted to expedite the process, meaning they want to make it move as fast as possible.
Well, they deserve.
Meaning, during this discovery phase,
these people,
they're going to find a lot of the personal
info. These people at the Snark subreddit said that Ethan's children ate literal dog shit and got sick from it and called CPS on them. Yeah. They deserve to be doxxed, especially from the government.
Information and communications
That's illegal
of these Reddit mods and these Discord mods. And it's going to go
facility like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, based on the scope of this lawsuit, this is going to go real deep. Those people on the H3 Snark subreddit, these Discord mods and the related communities of this lawsuit,
yeah,
they better be sweating right now. This is not looking good. This is not what you want to be a part of. This discovery process is going to go real deep. And the fact that Denham's and her representation agree to this and want to expedite the process, they're just saying, hey, take care of those people. You know, get some of the heat off of us. Go after those mods of those various platforms. Go after them. And this was something discussed by Legal Mindset. Let's get a little legal oomph to this because, of course, he's an actual attorney. And here's what he had to say about what Denham's and her representation was doing in this situation.
So Denham's, their counsel had the ability to object to this. They had the ability to fight back against this. They
completely
made
approved
a decision. They elected to say, we are not going to raise any defense on behalf of the Reddit or Discord mods. We're not going to defend them in any way. We're not going to push back against this. We're not going to say, hey, let's wait till after we do this conference, which is when we would normally have discovery. Normally discovery would happen later on, right? No. Let's let them get all of their personal identifying information. Let's let them make this happen now. And I think this may be surprising to a lot in that camp, in the Denham's camp.
I don't think it would be
mod
surprising
camp
at all.
Or et cetera, whatever that is,
Completely
who thought they were going to be this one big team fighting against the evil villain Ethan Klein. That's not
it's Denham's
how it's
and it's for
how
Denham's.
This is going to look is more like a sinking ship. It's more like a ship that just took a full broadside from the USS Ethan Klein. It's taking on water. It's going down, and they are fighting over the one leaky lifeboat off of the ship. Not to mention that leaky lifeboat is likely going to be captured by Ethan Klein in the end.
Okay, so now we're moving on to the final subject of this video, the third party of these copyright infringement lawsuits, Frogan, the Froganator, the two-time Twitch rising star. I got to admit, I'm disappointed in Frogan. Yeah, I'll say it. You know, for a while, I thought she was the one doing the least bit correct. Like, she wasn't doing anything amazing, but she wasn't doing anything, which I think is something. Okay, bear with me there. We're going in circles, but what I mean is, she really wasn't responding to anything. She wasn't talking about the lawsuits. All she did was announce her GoFundMe and then just pretty much ignore everything going on, right? Which is a smart move. It seemed like something her attorneys were telling her. Well, it turns out her kind of ignoring things and not talking about it publicly was just a symptom of her burying her head in the sand. That's pretty much it. That's what's happening with Frogan right now, and it's very obvious. She wants to bury her head in the sand and act like this isn't happening. That is not good, ladies and gentlemen. That is not going to work. This is the real world. You can't put spells like Frogan's doing. You can't perform witchcraft to try to manifest this away. No, this is real life. It's happening. Ethan has the means and has the pettiness. He is not giving up on this. I think everyone knows this. The subjects of this lawsuit are going to settle or they're going to ultimately go to court. Okay, this is really bad. You can't just pretend like this isn't happening. And there's something very interesting going on here. Number one, like I said, it appears she doesn't have an attorney. And if she can't afford it, there's two reasons for this. Either she can't afford it, or, again, she's burying her head in the sand and acting like, well, this isn't happening, I won't acknowledge it, and getting a lawyer is acknowledging it, whatever. But her defense fund, her GoFundMe, is woeful. It's terrible. She's got $35,000 raised in over a month, and unfortunately for her, she made her goal $200,000. And if she doesn't reach that $200,000, everyone gets refunded. She loses all the money.
Really?
It's not like she gets to keep whatever she got. No. It's all gone. That's how GoFundMes work. So, if she can't afford an attorney now, she's never going to. Because, yeah, this is a very bleak situation. The only way these people are getting their GoFundMes completed in the next two or 3 years is if someone just pays it all off. Right? Some oiler comes in and just pays off everything, but I don't know. Do you think that's going to happen? I don't think so. But some more evidence of her kind of burying her head in the sand here is from another attorney named Tony, who you can see his channel here. He's made 1 million videos talking about this these sets of copyright infringement lawsuits, and he's made a lot of very interesting observations. The other day, about a week ago, he talked about the process, process being served here, and the service processor made multiple attempts, I believe 4 attempts, to serve Frogan, and every single one was unsuccessful. And I think there's some valid criticism as this attorney raises as well.
Actively hiding from the service officer, like some kind of TV show where she's ducking and running from the service officer. That's it. It's a freaking cartoon. We're living in a cartoon world. I can't believe Frogan would even run that fast. How is she hiding? She's so big she can't hide. How are you hiding?
Well, where you can see the times, right? 2:30 a.m. Kind of a weird time to serve someone. Like, the chances of them actually responding is pretty low, when it's already probably low because I think Frogan's just ducking all of this. And also, like, wouldn't it be so easy to just be like, oh, she's live. Okay, I'll go knock on her door. If they really do know where she is, and it seems like someone who's charging, I believe, $2,500 for serving her or attempting to, and someone who does this as a living, I'm pretty sure they have the right place. So why wouldn't you just see, because she announces when she goes live, like, wouldn't you serve her Ben? Wouldn't that make sense? But that's not what they did, and they were unsuccessful at getting this done. And that leaves kind of an interesting direction here, where now there is substituted service, as we'll see discussed here in just a moment, where basically you go to the judge and you're saying, well, I tried to serve this individual. It was unsuccessful. They're either ducking us or we just weren't successful in finding them at their place, their address, and we instead left papers there. And now it's really up to the judge what happens next. And Tony discusses this, and we'll see a clip in just a second, where a lot of power is in the judge's hands right now. If they accept this form of process, he or she can do a lot of things, including if, of course, they demand that Frogan responds in a tangible way, and she doesn't, she could be held in contempt of court and serve jail time. And also on top of that, if she continues burying her head in the sand and ignoring all this and trying to pretend like it'll all just go away if she ignores it, she risks a summary judgment for Ethan Klein, which means he would automatically win. That would be really bad, but let's listen to this clip real fast.
I did not know
So the party will normally notify the court. The court at this point has already been notified of the substitute service and the fact that the court will read these documents and realize that Frogan is trying to escape being served. And the court may issue an order to show cause or a motion to compel. The next step could be the judge issues a contempt order. So if you still don't respond, so now it's not just Ethan saying, hey, respond. It's the court stepping in saying, you got to respond to me, regardless of you responding to Ethan, because I believe substitute service has been applied, has been successfully completed. So in that case, then the judge will issue a contempt order, and this can involve fines or even jail time to force your compliance. So they can actually get a warrant for you to put you in jail. So again, this is a very extreme example. Typically, people
Probably
will actually just
what
show
will
up
happen.
once the judge says they
Why do
need
you
to
have
show up.
hashtag immigration?
Important.
in the
You wouldn't go
in the
to jail for just ignoring
video?
the lawsuit. You can go to jail for defying a court when a judge formally tells you to comply. So the next step is to see if the judge wants her to comply.
Ooh, I gotta be real, guys.
Rough.
It's not looking great. Okay, obviously I don't have the highest view of these three individuals, but you know, I don't think it's gonna work out for them. Or at least it's not gonna work out well. At best, as it's been suggested over and over again by people like Legal Mindset, they should have settled as soon as possible. Maybe some of them are. I mean, I guess without attorney, Frogan is unlikely to settle anytime soon, but we may see Denims or kacytron do that, like at least be smart enough to do that. I don't know. That's
I
the
don't
best
think
shot
so.
here, but
I
everything
think they're
is
too
working
arrogant to
against
settle.
these three.
Maybe Denims.
And does anyone feel sorry for them? Not
Nope.
really. They
Well
they kicked
deserved.
the bear, so to speak. And Ethan Klein is relentless. You know, you can like the guy, don't like the guy, whatever you think about the guy. You can agree he's relentless and he's petty and a man with means. And he is pushing this as hard as he can. And it's gonna be pretty crazy how this turns out. But if I were involved, I was one of these people, one of these three
I want to
individuals,
get out as soon as possible.
I would settle. I would save myself future financial harm.
Yeah, but they're morons.
I would save
That's the
myself
difference.
probably the next
Rev here
year or
isn't a
so of
moron.
embarrassment, public humiliation, getting dragged through this and people farming me for content. Yeah, that's what I would do, but who knows what's in store. But that is the up.
Yeah, so I think it's absolutely right. Kacytron doing witchcraft is hysterical, though. That is so funny to see. I cannot believe that's something she went and did. Like, think about it. You got to be crazy to say that that's something you want to do. Like, what? That is crazy to say.